we were one of the few school-only teams at Adidas Nationals. There were a lot of club teams out there.
Hmm.
And for us to perform the way that we did, being just our kids, like if we would have put Lowndes and Valdosta together, we would have blew the doors off a lot of people.
As I said, we've got the honor of having a special treat for you tonight, Black and the Bold family. We have the reigning 2022 Georgia, I say state of Georgia, emphasize the state of Georgia 7A classification girls track and field head coach, state champion coach, Joseph Robinson in the house. So as I slide him
Absolutely.
in, y'all give him a welcome and a big round of applause.
What's up? What's up?
What's
What's
going on,
going on?
coach?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, so I had the honor of, kind of following the season. Of course, my daughter is out there, and then my dad is doing some volunteer coach as well. But tonight I want to give the pleasure of our guest, our family, if you will, our audience, just sort of a firsthand point of view of just your perspective of how the season went and some of the highs, the lows, and just how you accomplished that, really, because that is a special treat. And as I learned, speaking with you at the end of season banquet, this is the first state championship for Lowndes High School girls track and field. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. It's actually the first one ever for the track program at Lowndes, boys or girls. So that was major, uh,
Yes,
real major.
absolutely. And so I'm honored to have my brother Bowl. This is like surreal because Bowl and I, Edward Mack. You know Edward already.
Yeah, we rode motorcycles together a couple of times back in the
Oh,
day.
okay. So that's being modest.
That's enough.
Yeah,
That's enough. Right. That's good right there. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a little something I actually didn't know about you as well. Yeah, I didn't know you rode motorcycles also. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
So Edward and I actually started out when I was in Texas and came back, and I was at Florida, Tallahassee for a minute, and I got my first bike there, crotch rocket. And so Edward and I used to ride, during that track season together time to time. So I
Okay.
understand how it is. I miss it.
I
Oh
don't,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, but yeah, so it's surreal for us because we obviously graduated Lowndes High, so that's big double down emphasis on the excitement that we have for the Lowndes High community. But at the same time, we both played ball, ran track for a couple of different coaches that came through, and so just to have a program that has reached the Plymouth of what there is to achieve just is major. And Bo, did you want to get into a little bit of your thought going into this?
I mean, I would pretty much mirror what you were saying, man. I just echo pretty much. It's definitely a surreal moment. We've kind of seen that track transition from concrete to be the only track in the dang region, probably in the South, that still had a concrete track, and to see it, kind of blossom into what it's become today. With the icing on the cake with the state championship. So yeah, man, we watched that thing grow, but we from everybody knowing us for wearing the tights, only school wearing tights, to
Right.
being that school that had a decent basketball and track team, but football team was struggling.
Yeah.
Uh, I love the fact that now we've got a little bit of bragging rights on the track and field finally. So congratulations, my brother.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So coach, we talked a little bit, but at the same time, I want the family to kind of hear some of your background. How did you get started into coaching, girls track and track and field in total?
I started off volunteer coaching at Pine Grove Middle School the first year the school was open, and so I volunteered out there for a while, and then the next year I went up to the high school and was the boys' assistant coach under Coach Quinn, and so I started off under Coach Quinn for I think 3-4 years as his boys' assistant coach. And then when the then girls coach ended up leaving, he got a football job back home. They offered me the head girls job, and after being under Coach Quinn for a little while and learning how to coach multiple events, I felt as though I was ready for the job. And the kids were already listening to me. As far as me just coaching them up, being the boys coach, I mean, we have boys and girls coaches, but we coach all of them. And so I went in head first, ready to go. And so and it's changed a lot since then. The program has from when I first took it over up until now. Just the complete dynamics of the program and what type of athletes we have.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, so, when we talk, girls track, what's a Coach Robinson track vibe like? What tell us about that? Again, I'm asking like I don't know. So go right ahead. What's the Coach Robinson team like?
To be honest, man, my team, I want my team to really have a lot of confidence and have a great work ethic. And so I make practices really hard, and I make sure that my girls realize when they step on the track, they're going to be the most well conditioned team at the track. They're going to know the rules of track and field, so no one can just tell them something that isn't true. And they're also going to be able to deal with the adversity that may come at a track meet. And so I try to make sure that at practice, the ladies are mentally and physically prepared for the track meets that they're going to come up to on Saturdays. And so that has worked out really well for us because we make practices so hard. And my hashtag I use all the time is train hard, win easy. Because, in middle school, track is fun, practice and
Yeah.
sometimes the track meets, people chasing butterflies, but in high school, practice is really difficult, and that's the difficult transition for some of the kids. It's like, woo, man, practice is really hard. And so I always tell the kids, well, practice is difficult so we can have fun at the track meets and we can win. And so winning is really fun, but you just got to put in the work that no one gets to see because very few parents come out to track practice. Very few students just come out there and watch it, because it's difficult work. And especially when kids are doing multiple events. Hardly anybody on the track team does just one event. And so throughout the course of the week, they have to train themselves. Well, we train them to train themselves to get prepared for multiple events. And so I like my track program to, like I said, to be well disciplined, to have a lot of confidence and to know the rules of track and field, and to have no limits, to always do more every single time you touch the track.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say firsthand, it's a well-disciplined, well-oiled machine, that you got going on there, you and Coach Quinn, and specifically with the girls. I mean, you really see the growth, the maturity, how they really buy into the process of, training hard, just like you said, so that they can win easy. One of the things that, really is an enlightenment that people don't see is the transition from about 70 girls that come out in the beginning and hell week, if you will, but those first few days, as Bold and I know, it's really weeding out who really wants to be a part of the team. It's not just to wear the uniform and look good, but you're gonna put in some work. Not some, you're gonna put in a lot of work. And so tell us about that. How many people started out do you roughly gather at first, and how that transition process goes?
This is the most amount of girls I ever had starting off. I had almost 70 girls. We felt as though coming into this season, we had a really good chance of winning the state championship. So way back in the fall, that's what we started talking about, was winning the state championship. And so that buzz was going throughout the school. And so we had a lot more girls come out the first week of practice. And the very first day, it's a simple workout, but if you come out there with no training, it's a very difficult workout. And so it's go at your own pace. I don't do any fussing. I just let them go. And as we go on, they get more and more difficult. And so some of the athletes, they find other things to do during track practice. And so that's how they weed themselves out because we don't cut kids. The only way you get cut if you just stop showing up to practice, or that's pretty much it. If you stop showing up for practice, or if you just tell us, hey, this isn't for me. But We have a lot of them, and we try to find something for everybody to do. But you have to go through the training, and that's what I tell the kids. We can't put you on the track. We can't put you in the field event if you're not trained up, because that's a reflection of our track program. And so the kids have to put in the work, and so they typically weed themselves out. No one that is meant to be on the team ever leaves, and so that's what we like about track, and the numbers never lie, and so no one can go home and say, well, my coach doesn't like me, I'm the fastest person out there, because everything is electronic. And so if you put in the work, you're going to have the better times. I don't care if it's distance or sprint events. And so first cup, well, really for us, we start in January. First track meet is like the end of February. So about the first full month is extremely difficult. And so if you make it through that first month, you've made a great deal.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like you don't really see, a lot of people really, I won't say cut, because like you say, it's not a cutting process, but, you really see who your team is, after March going into April. As I can imagine, just kind of trying to figure that out quickly as I say it. But, you really see the transition of really what your team is around that time. And would you say, is that around the time, like you said, there was buzz going into the season from the fall, which I didn't realize that, as far as that's why a lot of people came out for track. But when did it seem to click for the team that we're better than we thought we were, and we're going to win state, or we might win state?
Yeah, I think it was that Marietta meet when we went up there right before spring break. That was our big, let's see where we stand at with the state of Georgia meet. Let's try to send a message. And I'm going to just say one of them, we showed out. I enjoyed seeing the girls go up there and have the confidence in every single event and not be afraid and not even be nervous, just looking at them knowing that, hey, I got a chance to win this race. And the boys actually came in second place that track meet, and there were a lot of teams up there. And I know quite a few of the coaches in the Atlanta area because I put myself out there and got to know those guys. And they were like, man, like, you guys really do have a shot after seeing you guys come up here and do what you did up here in Marietta. And so after that meet, the kids were like, yeah, we really do have a chance. And after that meet, we went into spring break, but coming back out of spring break, like they were extremely focused because they saw that we had a chance as long as everybody remained healthy. And that's what I always preach to the kids, you got to make sure you're doing the major things and the little things that keeps us all healthy, because that's what makes or breaks a track team, everybody being healthy the entire season.
Yeah, that's true now. Because, hey, shout out to Miss Angela Ward. I appreciate it. She says, congratulations, coach. And
thank you.
At the same time, myself and Steve McConaughey, who has a daughter out there, we followed the program. It was just funny because y'all might remember this, Source Awards, I forget what year, and Outcast won, Group of the Year, or newest Group of the Year, and Andre 3000 got up there, and in a short quote, it was like the South got something to say.
Yeah.
So that's how we felt. McConaughey and I felt, that time, just was that like for you around that time? Like, these Northern coaches really see what the South, as far as Lowndes County, we got something to say, and we're going to prove it this year.
Yes, I'm a member of the Minority Track and Field Coaches Association. And so we have quite a few Zoom meetings, and that's what they always say. They're like, we look on Mile Split, we see South Georgia popping off these major times, but then when they come up north, we never see it. So it's hard to believe it. And so I told them coming up, I said, well, we'll go pop off this time. We're going to show you what we can do. And so when we went up there, I was like, yeah, we finally showed North Georgia what we can do, because let's just be honest, when it comes to track and field, especially in the larger classifications, it's Metro Atlanta, and that's it. In the smaller classification, you can have some of the smaller schools like Monroe out of Albany, who represents every single year. But this was the first year in 7A that there was anyone out of Metro Atlanta that won the state championship. So I've always wanted just South Georgia, period, to get that respect from everybody in the state when it comes to track and field because they think that we only think about football. Yeah, football is major down here, but we have a lot of kids that work extremely hard on the track. And we've had a few individual champions, but our goal this year was to have a team championship because that's something that everybody can take with them for the rest of their life is to be like, hey, I was part of the first team state championship. If I win it in an individual event, then only I feel that warm fuzzy feeling, and
Hmm.
I take that into my adulthood. And so that was my goal for the team is to make sure that everybody had a chance to be a part of history, as being part of that very first state championship team to where everybody's name goes in the history books for that.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it was major, and I'm still excited about it. I ain't gonna lie to
Oh
you.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I
Go ahead.
wanted to, piggyback on that a little bit and just dig in because I know you talked a little bit about it being more than just a sport, and I know that has a lot to do with a lot of the development. That's what's not in the spotlight. Those hard days at the track. Those.
I think he froze up there.
What are some of the core values that you kind of preach to your kids? Because I know that was huge for us. You know, responsibility was individual responsibility was one. Loyalty, to the group, teamwork, discipline, all those things, character. But what are some of the things that you got really, really, really hone in and push as as just core values and somewhat of a drive that you push, with your team?
I truly push accountability, and so I always like for my team to hold each other accountable. I mean, I want you all to be friends with each other, but if there's somebody that can do better, call them out on it, and you don't have to be mean about it. But that's the only way we're going to get better. You can't be afraid to beat your friend at practice because you think they're going to be mad with you. That's how both of you get better is by pushing each other at practice and holding each other accountable. And so whenever we have reps and someone doesn't do it right, I mean, you can pull them to the side or do whatever. Say, hey, man, we're trying to win a championship. You got to do better than that. And I also preach family all the time. And it's like I tell them, just like in the family, they're going to fuss and fight, but we got to be able to talk it out, get over it, and remember what the common goal is. And so even when I send messages to the girls all the time, or when I post stuff, I said, LHS track family. Even when I send emails to the school, because I want the girls to realize that this is a family thing that we have going on and that this is a bond that you're going to have lifelong. And I mean, everyone does not get along, but we want to try to get along because we all have that same common goal, which is to be a champion, which is to grow. I want these young ladies to be awesome mothers. I want these young ladies to be awesome leaders. And so we teach all that stuff and we try to be as diverse as possible. We do team building exercises with each other so that they can get to know each other and just make it get to see each other vulnerable states, so you can really trust each other. And so I'm real big on discipline, so if you have OSS, I have some major work for you. Same thing if you have ISS. And if I also check the grades, so we do grade checks. And so, like I told you, it first starts off with accountability. And so I tell the girls, if you see one of your teammates in school doing something crazy, like about to fight somebody or arguing with somebody, you need to stop them because if they get in trouble, and especially if it's somebody we really need, and it affects the entire program, and then we want to treat each other like family at all times. And like I said, there's only so much that I can control, but you can stay in contact with each other a great deal, especially throughout the season and the preseason. And so we want to keep that family atmosphere as much as possible.
Do you think from last year to this year, the fact that do you think they really kind of grabbed a hold of those core values? Could you see a difference in their dedication and devotion through those core values from last year to this year? Did you see that transition? You think that was what attributed to the success?
I'm gonna be honest. It was pretty much the same team from last year, and they bought in last year. We had a major move in that came in, and so we had to work with her in order to get on board with those core values. And once she did, everything just took off, And so we. we performed way better last year than I actually expected. I was surprised at the state meet for 2021 because we were so young and the girls bought in then. And so one thing, when our team captain, who's Kaylin McConaughey, she's big on her academics, and me and her had a conversation. I told her, if you want us to win a team championship, I need you to get in weightlifting in the fall. And when I had a lot of the girls who I call my dogs that signed up for weightlifting in the fall, I knew that they truly bought in. And the move-in that we had, who's an All-American, she got in that class also. And when I saw girls who are great with their academics, who actually got into that weightlifting class because they wanted to do what it took in order for us to get this state championship, because we started talking about this like in July, August, about winning the state championship. And so everybody just started rocking and rolling. And so every time I got a chance, I would check in on them in the weightlifting class and see how things were going, and just to make sure everything was rolling smoothly. And it was just real major seeing how things just evolved from August all the way up until May when we won the state championship. But to answer your question though, Mac, it's one of those things to where once you do one complete season in the Lowndes High School track program, especially on the girls' side, you buy in, especially by the time you make it to the end of the season. And so if you come back the next year, you already know the expectations and you're all the way in with the program. And so when we have new people come in, we just have to bring them on in to us as well so we're all on the same page.
Well, I have to go ahead and translate for some of our chat members. When he said they gonna buy in after a year, that means he gonna get the butter from the duck. So you gonna know by the end of the season if you really love track or not.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Brother Black. I know you had another question.
Oh no. I just wanted to, another baseline, man. I mean, this is what I actually got from Coach after the end of season banquet. And I'm gonna repeat, some of the things that he shared, with the team and myself. So, Coach, you mentioned that, some of the facts here for this exceptional team. The boys and girls team placed in the top 2 in every track meet we went to that season.
Man.
All right. Only placing second once in Marietta. It continues.
Wow.
The 2022 track program school had 7 school records broken, bruh, this season. Boys 4x2 and 4x1. The girls 100, 200, 4x1 relay, 4x2 relay, and 4x4 relay. And then tied the school record for the high jump. I mean, this is just phenomenal of a season. So the other thing finally here is that, we just came back from this past weekend. The track team had 15 athletes qualify to compete in the Adidas Nationals track meet in Greensboro, North Carolina. So, I mean, just crazy, phenomenal how this track team did this season under that leadership that Coach exuded. So,
that's crazy, man. That's that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
You do it. That's a lot to break a
don't
record.
forget, we broke the state record in the girls 4x4.
Ooh.
State record, which was held by Westlake, which is number 3 in the nation. I didn't realize we even broke that record until we was on the bus and the girls were turning up, and I'd just get on my spin and look, and I'm like, oh man, we broke this record right here, and I didn't know it, and that blew my mind.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
How do you what do you think about? Look, because when you get nominations to go to next level at athletic events, I mean that's like a whole new world, because now it's not just Georgia. Mm-hmm. Now it's like I have to broaden my competition level to my region, or even the coast. Sometimes they may do the coast thing, or it just could be just a whole national competition. I mean, does that cause you to coach any different? Does it cause you to add anything, or is it just you constantly maintaining that focus and discipline, along with them?
This summer, this was my first time doing it, and I'm gonna be honest, it was sort of difficult because, of course, I coach football, and so we had summer football going on, and the state of Georgia also has a dead week which is the first week of June. So we can't bother the athletes at all. They can do stuff on their own, but we can't touch them. So I had about 2 weeks to get them ready for nationals. And so what I would do, I would leave football practice after the kids would leave, and then I would go to the track and work with them from 1:30 to 3 o'clock, and then I would go back to football meetings. And so that was difficult because number one, it was hot at 1:30 p.m. But the kids were out there, which showed that they were bought into it. I didn't change my workouts because they were already in condition, so I didn't have to go back through the conditioning phase of everything. So we mainly just worked on sprint work. I went back over mechanics because some of the kids were getting sloppy doing the sprint work mechanically, and so I had to go back on that for refresher. And so with Kanaya already enrolling at Florida State for early entry, I had to change a 4x1 and 4x4. And so I had to put a young lady on there who is not running at all, the 4x1 at all this year. And she did an awesome job for us at Nationals. And then you had Dwayne's daughter, Kendall, who has, I think, maybe once this year run the 4x4 for us. And she stepped in at Nationals and ran an awesome fourth leg running a 58 split. And so we still went under 4 minutes. And so I didn't change anything about it just because I had football and track going on, and I didn't want the kids to have a heat stroke with the heat index being at 104 out there. But I will tell you this, and I talked to a few people about this. We were one of the few school-only teams at Adidas Nationals. There were a lot of club teams out there.
Mhm.
And for us to perform the way that we did, being just our kids, like if we would have put Lowndes and Valdosta together, we would have blew the doors off a lot of people, But it was just the kids we had here at Lowndes, and we did really well going against a lot of club teams. And so I was talking to Coach Quinn today after football practice, and we're looking forward to going again next year, either Adidas, New Balance, or Nike. So we want our kids to have that challenge. We want our kids to have that exposure, and we want our kids to run in more big time track meets because if we want to stay on top, we got to continue to compete against the top people in the country.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said that because, when Kanaya's dad even opened or at least opened my attention to that Adidas Nationals and then going and experiencing it, it was, synonymous to, we had done AAU right there at that site 3 years ago. So, but to see it at a high school level was still different, right? Because there's no little 6-year-olds running around and, mama's yelling, go JoJo, so, this is real deal. And this is exposure. And so, I'm getting online, this past weekend, I'm like, oh, there was the New Balance. Oh, there was Brooks. Oh, there was Nike, what I'm saying? So I hear you on that. It's like, we actually probably qualify for others as well. And to be able to roll. Yeah. So that's good to hear that, I don't know, it just puts us at a different level as far as Lowndes track program when we can go to these different events. So that's good. That's good to be able to do.
Well, have you considered the club option as if just providing it as an option? I think that would be kind of phenomenal to have Valdosta and Lowndes track together.
I'm open to a club option. The only thing with the club option is financial support. Luckily, the Lowndes School District, they came through for us. They blessed us. They provided our transportation. They paid for our hotel stay. They paid for our food and everything. So this is one of the things to where, by us running for the school and them getting on board because they were extremely excited about this also, to where they foot the bill for everything. And so whenever you get a club team, then you have to pay all that money to take care of everything. And so it helps us out more running for the school. Now, am I open to a club team? Yeah. But it's like we actually have the support of people financially raising the funds in order to send the kids there and have everything taken care of. That's the difficult part you run into. But if they run for the school and they qualify, at least this year, the school took care of everything for them. And that was awesome because parents didn't have to worry about, hey, I got to raise $500 to send my kid to Adidas Nationals. or send my kid to Nike. Kudos to Lowndes School Board, for taking care of this for us. And it gave the kids a awesome opportunity. And I actually went to the school board meeting last night, and they recognized the track program for everything that they've done this year. And so
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it and seeing the recognition that the track program is getting. And I mean, I would love to coach all of South Georgia. I'm gonna just be honest with you, because I know we will have a awesome team. I know that we will beat a lot of people, and we just need financial backing. And if we have that, we'll be good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Let me
Did
ask
I
about this. Go ahead.
did I freeze up?
No, you're good on
Okay.
our end. Yeah, at least from what I see. Let me ask about this as we get into that. For one, definitely shout out, like you said, one Lowndes, to Lowndes County school districts for doing that. And I also want to, shout out Kenny Moore, all right, for picking up the tab on the championship rings as well. That brother is doing this thing, giving back, to the community, obviously, in the ways that he's done. He was also honored by the National Football League as well, Man of the Year. So, definitely shout out to him as well.
Is it
Let's
Lowndes High grad?
say what?
Is it Lowndes High grad?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I know that
Yeah.
because he was the one that was over
Ken,
the football camp last weekend, wasn't it?
yes, he actually ran track for us. He triple jumped and did hurdles for us. He was a state qualifier.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So talk to us a bit about your coaches because, there are 18 different events, I believe. Am I have that right? 18?
Yes.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
18 different events. I mean, all the way from discus, shot, track. We've been talking a lot about the relays and everything. But as head coach, you've got to be able to know it all, but at the same time have particular people in places where you can't necessarily, observe everyone at the same time. So as you focus on particularly like the sprinters, what's going on down there at shot put, the throwers, the jumpers, how's that going? How's that handled?
All right. So at Lowndes, we have Coach Maz. She coaches our distance, which is the mile and the 2 mile. Luckily, we had you and your dad coming out to help this year with the middle distance 800-meter runners. Coach Jermaine Clemens, who's also a Lowndes High grad, he coaches our shot and discus, both male and female. And then we had a hurdle coach, but he was also a football coach. He ended up leaving. And then so Jamel Demps did the last month for us. And so pretty much I love coaching the horizontal jumps. That's the long and the triple jump. So I do that for the boys and the girls. We have the owner of the pool store, Darren Stecks. He started volunteering with us when his daughter ran track for us and started doing pole vault, and he's just stayed out there every since. So he coaches the pole vault and the high jump. And so pretty much Coach Quinn and myself, we coach the sprinters. From the 400 all the way down and all the relays. And so typically I put all my kids together. I even have my hurdlers with me some days because I actually enjoy coaching hurdles also because it's a technical event. And so we put them together and we roll out with them. And we have specific days designed for like the days that our hurdlers are going to just work on nothing but hurdle work as far as like just the drills and everything. And certain days we work on relays, and certain days we work on long jump and triple jump. And we have one girl who only did high jump, so she worked on high jump every day. And most of our throwers, they throw both events, the shot and the disc. So Coach Clemens, um, he divides his groups up, and he has drills for all of them, and they do the shot and the disc. And so if you ever just come out and watch practice, like Mr. Johnson had a chance to see this year, we have it going like a well-oiled machine. The kids know exactly what to do every day when they come. And so you may see a kid not with an adult, not over there with them in a group, but they all know exactly what to do. Um, we don't have enough coaches to have someone with all the kids the entire time. And so we may give the older kids a task and they teach the younger kids how to do it. And so we also teach our older kids how to coach up the younger kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you hit around the nail there. It's well oiled out there. I mean, what as a parent, I know how involved I am, with our daughter here. What would you like to see as parents of athletes, particularly with track, as far as the program? What should parents be doing with their kids in this off season and during the downtime of the summer?
I would get them in some type of exercise, take them to the gym, letting them run, or they can train them on their own. I had some kids ask me, was I going to continue going on this summer? I would love to, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm tired. I haven't had much time to see my wife and kids, and they are my first priority. And so I want to try to spend some time with them. But they can always run unattached at any track meet. You can just sign up as a AAU member and look on CoachO.com or any other sites, and they have track meets all over the place that you can go and compete in. And we're trying to get more kids to do indoor track this year. Once again, like you said, from talking to Kanaya's dad, KJ, he introduced me to a lot of different stuff. Just being around him for this 1 year and seeing how it helped her out quite a bit. And so I've been talking to some of the kids about them doing indoor track. So if we get more kids running indoor, that'll help us out with conditioning when it comes to outdoor. And then they can also like running at Adidas Nationals and Nike Nationals for indoor and New Balance Nationals for indoor so they can get more exposure. So the more exposure the athletes can get, the better it's going to be for them individually as far as like trying to get scholarships. Because from what I've been seeing now, it's not good enough to only run for the team. You have to get out and do the extra stuff, just like basketball parents do when they have their kids playing travel basketball because they realize that's going to help their kids out. Same thing with softball and baseball. It's the same thing with track now from what I'm seeing because me starting off as coaching, I'm thinking, hey, the scouts will be at the track meets. They will see the kids. Boom, they'll be good to go. And I'm always advocating for my athletes, sending emails out, calling schools and everything. But the more they can be just out there and be seen, it increases their chances of getting schools to pay for them to go to college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally a different world, man. I mean, Mac and I were talking before. We talked time on this platform, and yeah, it's a total different beast than back in the '90s, to where the exposure level is just on high now. As far as you got social media, you got these travel leagues and everything. I only know if we probably had them, but it wasn't anything that we took advantage of back in the day. It was pretty much summer at home, cleaning up, doing chores.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
So it's different. When it comes to this whole mental health piece, I transitioned to that a little bit. We had athletes in the Olympics, talk about their mental health, as top tier elite athletes. How does the program or you or Coach Quinn help encourage them to keep their mental capacity at best, during the season?
It's crazy you said that because I always talk to the kids
Mm-hmm.
about the mental health. When I was younger, that was something that we really didn't talk about, and so it's like now, I tell the kids that you have to make sure that you're mentally stable. That if you need to talk to somebody, you can always talk to me or you can talk to somebody else. That we have to make sure that our mental health is good because if our mental health isn't good, then our physical health isn't going to be good, and it's not going to allow us to be focused. And so I always encourage our athletes to make sure, that you can always talk to me. We do have a female coach out there, and we also I let them talk to counselors because, especially with how long our season is, sometimes it can be mentally straining for some kids, and it's good for them to have that person that they can talk to. And sometimes they actually find that in a teammate, somebody they can talk to help out with their mental health. And so that's one thing that I don't question. If a kid needs to take a mental day, I get it. That's what we've evolved to now, and especially seeing that it happens to the top tier athletes as well, to where nothing's more important than you. You have to make sure that your health is taken care of, number one, so then you can be here and be at 100% in order to take care of the team. And so we talk about that stuff, and I don't know if they listen to me, but I do talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot, the fact that you talk about it. I mean, outside looking in, but closer than most as far as the audience. But I didn't see much of an issue that the girls, at least from our end of the girls track team, have any issues with that as much as what a lot of what, like you said, the world has evolved into. And I say
Mm-hmm.
that as a testament to really what you just said, that you talk to them. It's like a family atmosphere, but you push each other. That is, and also hold each other accountable. So I think that does a world of greatness to them, to have that family unit and that they can talk to each other. Yeah.
Coach, what's your biggest challenge? I know we talked a lot about team building and camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? To me, I guess, what is your biggest challenge as a male coach, especially coaching female team?
um, the random attitudes sometimes, and as you get older, you learn which battles to fight, and the girls, they for the most part, they respect me and my authority, and when I ask them to do something, and the reason why I say ask is because I can't make them do anything. Those days have gone out the door, and so I always make sure that I ask them to do stuff. And when I talked to the girls about this, and I had a coach call me this year and ask me, "What do I do when this happens?" You know, Dealing with females, they have something that goes on that males don't. That happens once a month, and
Mm-hmm.
so I always talk to my girls about being prepared when that time comes. But that also does not give you an excuse to not train on that day. Because I always say, "Well, what if it's a state championship and that's going on?" You're gonna say, "Well, I can't run, or I can't jump, or I can't throw." And so when it comes to that part of it, I talk to them to the fact to where you have to find a way within yourself to be able to push through that. And luckily, that has not been an issue, because I don't allow it to be an issue when it comes to practice. That's not something that we can use to get out of practice, and so they know to not try that part of it. But it's just a random attitude sometimes, and so I just walk away. And let them do their thing. Like when they stretching, and I could tell one or two of them having a bad day, maybe boyfriend issues or issues at the house. I give them all their space while they're stretching, and I come back to them when they're done stretching as a group, and I say, "All right, well, it's time to work." And then boom, we get it going. And then other days when I can tell that everybody's upbeat, nobody got any major issues going on, I'm more so in there more. I used to ask a lot of questions, and for some of them, they throw that wall up, and it makes things more difficult. So when they want to talk to you, they will, because we have that relationship. And when they just want to be left alone and don't want to be asked a lot of questions, I respect that space, and I stay away from them. And when they're ready to talk, they'll talk. But they know when it's time to clock in and work, it's time to clock in and work.
Yeah,
That's a great point there.
that's what it is.
Because we talked about that whole emotional intelligence last
I
week.
was just thinking about that, bro.
That's good that you are definitely executing that, and like I said, dealing with different personality types, different gender types. So you have to be on 9 and 10 with that emotional intelligence in the radar. One thing that I wanted to definitely touch on, as well as I know you thanked everyone at the beginning of the season, but we did a bang up job. And I say we, parents and the runners, the team did a bang up job with the fundraising in the beginning. And man, I think that really put everybody in sort of this momentum also that they already had, but it just sped it up like a snowball. Tell us about how that went down, as far as what I guess the platform and really what that was about. Yeah, I'll just hand it over to you with that.
All right, Coach Quinn, he's in charge of that fundraiser. He hooked up with the guy that does the scorecards, but it was awesome. Like the kids, they just sent people emails so they could make a tax deductible donation, and we raised a lot of money on that. And what we do with that fundraiser is that money goes directly to the kids, and that's what we always tell them. So that helps pay for their warm ups. I like for my team to look good when they step off the bus, and that's what I always tell them. And coaches always tell us that.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
uh, we,
Yes,
we're gonna
sir.
we're gonna have the nice Nike warm up. We're gonna have the nice Nike T-shirt.
Yes,
You know, like
sir.
I want my girls to look good so they can run good, perform good. And so I tell them that if you raise the money, then your parents don't have to worry about paying the money for it, because I want us to look good when we go somewhere. I don't want anybody to have to go without because they can't do this fundraising. And so that's what we did for the kids. And for the most part, most of them, they raised enough money to where they didn't have to pay for the stuff. And I started my very first year. So, well, actually my second year. So I like for all my girls, if they want to, they have on tights. So when it's cold, you can have on your Nike tights and you looking real good out there while you're running. And so, I grew up in Florida. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it was, man. I've been watching Dion, and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the
Yes,
Miami.
sir.
I'm a Florida State fan, but watching Miami back in the
Yeah.
day also when they played Florida State, and it's just like you got to look good when you out there, man. And
It's
so,
hey, it's the beard and the crimson. It's the beard and the crimson. We already know it's Florida boys, us Florida boys. We got the whole fans to our Seminoles, dog. I don't care what you're talking about.
you
You
already
already
know.
see, bro. You already know what time it is.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So,
And so
go ahead. Go ahead.
that fundraiser helped us out a great deal, man. And like you said, we also use that money to buy the kids breakfast before every track meet. We make sure the kids really don't need money for anything throughout
Right.
the season. We feed them at the track meets. Dwayne and his wife, they helped us out quite a bit during the season. My wife, when she could come, helped us out quite a bit during the season. Making sandwiches. We had Gatorade for the kids at every track meet. We had water. We had fruit for them. We had granola bars for them. We had two huge biking tents that we set up at every single track meet. And so every dime of that money went directly back to the kids. Like me and Coach Quinn had a bill that came in last week just from the awards, and it was over $1,000 in just awards,
Right.
and that we ended up buying for the kids because they did so well, and so all of that money, and believe it or not, we spent all of it on the kids, because when we went to Marietta, that money for the rooms and the all you can eat, because we fed the kids good. That money came out of that fund. And so without that, then we can't make those big trips like we did to Marietta for that huge track meet. And we can't have the stuff for the kids to where they don't have to worry about asking mom or dad, hey, can I have $20 to get something to eat after the track meet? I mean, y'all know how it was when we were younger.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Oh
mom, I
yeah,
need $10 to stop by McDonald's after the meet. They don't have
Yep.
to worry about that part.
yeah. And we're
Yeah.
gonna stop by Hardee's and get you this quarter pounder,
Yeah.
this apple pie.
Yeah.
I'm glad you broke that down, for everybody, for those that perhaps, see the replay or just passing the word, because
Mhm.
man, we really, as a family unit, as far as, the team goes, did not have to do anything. And that's,
Yeah,
again, to what you just said. And that could be taken for granted as if that's how it's supposed to go. And because
Yes.
people play football, they think that, you just eat. But track, this is a different financial bag, if you will, So
yeah. On the
Big
butt.
time.
yeah,
But that's definitely balling on the budget if you're outside of football and yeah, if you're outside of football, you balling on the budget pretty much.
yeah.
So
So if anybody out there, if y'all contributed last year or did not contribute, and when this thing gets rolling around again, coming out the late fall, and Coach Robinson and Coach Quinn push out this platform again for donations to the team, you see basically where it goes. I mean, because those girls and those boys did not have to worry or want for anything, and it matters because, like you just said, when we pulled up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, out there at the stadium to leave to go somewhere, all the kids went into the bin and got sandwiches. Nobody had to, get something before they came, or somebody didn't have something. All of them looked good when they got off the bus. We walked out onto the field. We were turning heads, buddy, and we showed out. And so that goes to all that. All of it has to just work together. And 2022 really, really showcased that. Shout out also to Ivory Tricky Williams. He went and said before that, show enough, coach, it's hard coaching girls. He tips his hat off to you, coach. Hashtag attitudes.
Hey, and I want to give a shout out to Tricky too, man, because he actually sponsored our state championship shirts for the girls, man.
That's right.
So that was big time right there.
Shout out to the Valdosta's mayor. Shout out to him. Shout out to the mayor.
Yeah. So the track, because I remember that was the weekend that we had a track meet, right? So at some point we got to be able to, coach, get down there to the Wintersville alumni, weekend event. I don't know how we gonna be able to do it, but we got to do that.
Oh man.
That's gonna be hard to explain when he get back to Valdosta.
Yeah.
I ain't go to Valdosta Art Lounge, man. I went to Madison County, baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. What?
That's right.
Cowboys. The Cowboys.
Oh yeah, better believe it, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got the big head down there in Madison. They wear that crimson too, but you know how that go. We let it ride.
So Mrs. Robinson, she went to Lowndes?
No, she's actually from LaGrange, Georgia. She's the Grange.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I heard y'all how y'all beef back and forth. I heard y'all.
Yeah, we always talking trash. Because she's from a little country town. I'm from a little country town, so we just always jaw jack with each other about it. LaGrange, they got some championships in football as well. My wife, she ran track. And so no doubt. So we always just talking trash about that stuff.
Yeah. Trick did say, it'll change your life at the Valdosta, Florida event. He might get you an honorary alumni membership.
Coach Robbins, you see that said the Edward Mack Viking rule, and that was you look good, you play good. You know what I'm talking about?
No doubt, I do see that. Yeah,
we're gonna look good now. We're gonna do it.
Yeah. Coach, but any last words? I know you got a family, and it's getting late here for you. But any last words that you had that we didn't ask, or something that you want to share with us and the family tonight?
Hey man, I just want to tell everybody thank you for the love and support, man. Like, this was an awesome season. I honestly hate to see it end, and it's like I told the girls, we're trying to repeat. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want this to be just a one-time deal. And I don't know if most people know it or not, but Dwayne did a lot of our graphics this year with the stuff that I posted. So I want to thank you for that, Dwayne. As far as helping us out with the social media stuff, man, like, that was big time, And so we try to make sure that our track kids, that they get recognized, because we are a smaller sport, And so I want to thank everybody for actually taking notice and putting track out there, And so we actually, I've been thinking about doing the club thing. That's something that I'm still thinking about. But we have a lot of awesome athletes down here in South Georgia, and kids shouldn't be afraid to run track. I mean, that little pain you go through in practice, that's nothing compared to the joy that you will have when you actually win a state championship or go to a big time meet and compete against some big time athletes, and you end up beating them. Or if you don't beat them, but you come back and you performed at a much better level than what you did before you ever left. And so our kids, they really enjoyed going to Adidas Nationals, man, and it opened their eyes to something major. And we want more kids from the South to be able to see stuff like this, man, and just realize that as long as you try, man, you can do anything. And so I love what I do. And if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be out there. But I also thank your dad, Coach Hiram Johnson, because he always answers the phone when I call. And I've been utilizing him ever since I started coaching track. And he's always been nice to me and gave me lots of information. And he's a gem to have around to be able to just get that information from. And I'm thankful for him as well, And so I love the area around here and everything, man. And like I said, we won the state championship. We did it for all of South Georgia. So everybody, you know what I'm saying? I hope y'all rooting for Lowndes, because we did it for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you
thank you for allowing me to make my crimson and wear it proud again. I appreciate your hard work, my brother.
Hey, no doubt, man. Make sure you rock it, man. Make sure you rock it.
All right, Coach. Well, salute to you. Definitely I'll be hollering at you, man. And so we appreciate you, and have a great evening. Tell your family, thank you for your time, and thank them for your time of spending it with us. And we appreciate everything you've done for the track program, and looking for many more.
No doubt, baby. One Lowndes, man.
All right, one Lowndes, baby. All right, peace.
Peace.